Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you all are doing well and you all are fine. So in the today's class or today's lecture, we are going to a new chapter. We are going to discuss or start our new chapter, that is chapter number 4, biochemistry. In the previous chapter, the chapter was organic chemistry. Now the chapter name is biochemistry. So first of all, we have to know that what is biochemistry. So by definition, biochemistry, the word biochemistry consists of two words, bio and chemistry. Bio means life and chemistry means what is chemistry means chemistry means to deal with the chemical reactions. So in this branch of chemistry, we will going to deal with the all those chemical reaction and all those chemical compounds which are exist in the living system. Means that chemistry of life. This branch of chemistry deals with the study of chemical and physical processes inside living system, which involves chemical compounds such as carbohydrates, vitamins, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Yes, biochemistry mainly deals with the internal body reactions. The reaction that we undergoes in our body in the daily basis, that if we eat food, we intake carbohydrate, vitamin, protein, lipids, and how they metabolizes and what are their types and how they work in our body and what energy they provide us is basically deal in the organic chemistry, biochemistry, sorry. So it focuses on what is happening inside our cell and look at how the cell communicates with each other. Yes, all about that. Thus, biochemistry can be defined as the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of chemical substances and processes that occurs in living system is known as biochemistry. So in this chapter, we will deal with every other single compound in detail. Like that, we deal with the carbohydrate. In chapter, inshallah, we deal with the lipid. We deal with the proteins and nucleic acids, and all over in detail. So the first topic that we are going to discuss is carbohydrates. So you know that carbohydrates are naturally occurring organic compounds and are important component of our food. On a daily basis, we eat tortillas and we eat rice, potatoes, and all these compounds contain a large amount of carbohydrate. And on a daily basis, we are intaking this carbohydrate into our living system. So generally, the carbohydrate consists of following elements: the one carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These three are the key elements that contain that or make up the carbohydrate molecule. So mostly carbohydrates are represented by their general formula CXH2O and Y. Because in these compounds, hydrogen and oxygen are in the ratio of H2O, means that 2 is to 1 is the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in the carbohydrates. But actually, these compounds doesn't contain water molecules. But on the analysis, we have observed that these compounds contain two other groups, that is aldehydic group and the ketonic group. In the previous chapter, chapter number 3, organic chemistry, we deal with the functional groups. And we have learned there that the CH group is known as aldehyde group and the carbonyl carbon containing group is known as ketone group. And the other group, that is hydroxyl group OH, is containing as alcoholic group. So these groups are present in the carbohydrates and that forms its structure different from the others. So on the basis of the presence of these following functional groups, the definition of carbohydrate is polyhydroxyaldehyde. Poly means many and hydroxy means OH and aldehyde. It means that any aldehydic compound that contains a many hydroxyl group attached with it, or polyhydroxy ketone, or ketonic compound that contains the many hydroxyl compounds attached to it. A large molecule that produce these compounds on hydrolysis is called as carbohydrate. Now moving towards next, aldoses and ketoses. Yes, class, we have two types of sugars. Carbohydrates are basically known as sugars. We have two types of sugars, aldoses and ketoses. What are aldoses? The carbohydrates which contain aldehyde group are called termed as aldoses. ऐसे कार्बोहाइड्रेट जिनके अंदर एल्डिहाइडिक ग्रुप पाया जाएगा वो क्या कहलाएंगे? एल्डोजेस. और जिनमें कीटोन ग्रुप पाया जाएगा वो क्या कहलाएंगे? कीटोजेस. अगर यहाँ देखा जाए हमारे पास ग्लूकोज में, this is CHO molecule, that is aldehyde. So glucose is aldose sugar. It is aldehydic sugar. और अगर फ्रक्टोज में देखा जाए तो यहाँ हमारे पास क्या है? हमारे पास sorry, this is CHO. Sorry, in fructose you can see that this is carbonyl carbon and this carbonyl carbon is referred as ketonic group. So it means that fructose is ketose sugar and glucose is aldehydic sugar. Now, the classification of carbohydrates, on the basis of hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is a reaction in which some compounds break down into their smaller parts. So, जब हमारे पास कार्बोहाइड्रेट को तोड़ा गया तो उनके अलग अलग हाइड्रोलिसिस की बेसिस पर हमारे पास तीन टाइप्स हैं, मोनोसेक्राइड्स, ओलिगो एंड पॉली. Mono means one, oligo means two or more than two, and poly means many. Now, first of all, we are going to deal with the monosaccharides. Yes, class. Mono means one, single, and saccharide means sugar. It means that monosaccharides is also known as single sugar or simple sugar. They are also called as simple sugar. These carbohydrates cannot be further simplified on hydrolysis. This is mainly consists of only a single molecule of sugar, and it is cannot be further break down on hydrolysis into different compounds because it is a single unit. So monosaccharide contains 3 to 10 carbon atoms. In a single monosaccharide compound, we have 3 to 10 carbon atoms and may be subdivided into triose, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses. Tri means 3. A monosaccharide containing 3 carbon is known as trioses. 4 having a carbon contain known as tetroses, 5 pentoses, and 6 hexoses, depending upon the number of carbon atoms it possesses. So the example of monosaccharide is glucose. Glucose is the grape sugar and also known as grape sugar, belongs to aldoses and fructose honey. Honey contains fructose. Two ketose are examples of monosaccharide. It means that glucose and fructose are the example of monosaccharide sugars. Now next is oligosaccharide. Oligo means, yes, I have told you what is oligo means. Oligo means few. Few means 2 to 10 monomers. Yes. On a hydrolysis, the oligosaccharides give us 2 to 10 monosaccharides in a hydrolysis. Therefore, they are called as few. Oligo means few and saccharide means sugar. It gave us few sugar molecules upon hydrolysis, and the which contain 2 monosaccharide are called disaccharide. एंड जब भी हम हाइड्रोलिसिस करते हैं तो हमारे पास जो दो अगर मोनोमर निकालने वाला कंपाउंड है उसको हम डाइसैक्राइड बोलेंगे, तीन वाले को ट्राइसैक्राइड एंड सो ऑन. And oligosaccharides, monosaccharides are connected with each other by glycosidic bond. Yes, two monosaccharides are connected through the linkage or bond known as glycosidic linkage or glycosidic bond. Examples are sucrose जो घर में चीनी इस्तेमाल करते हैं, टेबल शुगर, sucrose, maltose, lactose जो मिल्क में प्रेजेंट होती है are the members of oligosaccharides. एंड व्हाट ओलिगोसैकेराइड्स आर? ओलिगोसैकेराइड्स सेम हमारे पास मोनोसैकेराइड्स की तरह क्रिस्टलाइन सॉलिड्स होते हैं, स्वीट इन टेस्ट होते हैं और वाटर में इजीली सॉल्युबल होते हैं. नाउ मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, we have the third type or third class of carbohydrate, that is polysaccharides. Poly means many and saccharides means sugar. It means that on hydrolysis these type of sugars produce more than 10 monosaccharides, means many monosaccharides produced on the hydrolysis reaction. These are also called polymeric carbohydrates. Yes, याद रखिएगा कि polysaccharides are also known as polymeric carbohydrates, and in these carbohydrates monosaccharides are again connected through glycosidic linkage. Example is cellulose, starch, glycogen, amylose, amylopectin, and all are the examples of polysaccharides. Unlike monosaccharides and oligosaccharides, they are amorphous. They are not crystalline. They are powdered like sugars, and they are tasteless. They doesn't have any kind of taste, sweet. Either it is sugar, but it doesn't have any sweet taste. And this sugar is also insoluble in water. While monosaccharides and oligosaccharides are soluble in water, but polysaccharides are insoluble in water. Now the sources of carbohydrates, you can see here that we have different sources of carbohydrates like black beans, white pasta, potatoes, oats, whole wheat bread, lentils, brown rice, sweet potatoes, quinoa. Okay, so we have grapes, honey, guava, molasses, honey, all the fruits and milk, and all these compounds that we use on our daily basis in our daily diet. These all contains carbohydrates. Okay, so class, that's all about today's topic. I hope so you have understood that what carbohydrate basically is and what are its sources and what are its classifications. So if you have any query, any question regarding this topic, you can or you may ask me in the next class, and inshallah I will clear you all confusions. So take care. Okay, students, goodbye.